live here. Post the link and we can start. Alright, well, if they can't figure it out from the YouTube link, then I can figure it out. Alright, so that should be all set. So, let's give it a second. I'm sure some people hop in quick, but let's go ahead and do some introductions quick. I'm just going to go kind of across what I have on my screen here. First up, Dylan Parker. Thank you for being here. Local Rockingham Alderman. And how else would you, is there any other descriptions I should toss in?
No, I mean, that's one of the main things that I do. I'm hunkered down at home, full-time childcare now because the kids aren't in school, so that's what I'm doing these days.
Yeah. Next up is Steve Jennings, local comedian, and you're an educator as well, I believe.
Yeah, I'm a paraprofessional in the Rockingham School District.
What grade do you teach?
I teach mostly 4th grade. We have 2 3rd graders and 1 5th grader. It's a behavior disorder classroom.
Huh. Any other descriptors? Anything else you want to throw in?
Not much. No.
Sweet.
I'm not like a train expert or anything, so I can't talk on that. Yeah.
Alright, Mac David. Burlesque goddess and beauty professional, hair. I don't know what the correct magician, hair magician.
Yeah, hair magician would be the technical term, also known as a hair scientist, a hair wizard, a hair goddess, and queen of the sleigh.
Queen of the sleigh. Alright. Next up is Nikki Gillette, also local comedian, also educator. And what do you teach?
I am a K through 5, soon to be K through 6 art teacher for Davenport Community Schools, and I teach at Bluegrass Elementary.
Yeah, I also have Shorty Pokeballs troupe.
Yes.
Which you have been doing a lot of stuff lately. Anything else you want to
Nope, that's pretty much all the things I do under this name.
Under this name, okay. Now we have Christopher Starman. Hello, good sir. I know you do all kinds of stuff here at Skeleton Manor and local community. And what else do you do?
By day, I'm a boring office worker and inventory, shipping, receiving guru, cross trade. Right now, we keep things running.
All right. Well, that's everybody, guys. So we're all local Quad City folk, and we all do all kinds of stuff here. We're gathered to kind of talk about how we've been doing throughout this whole quarantine and stuff. But first, we're gonna start with the lightning round because most shows end with a lightning round, so we're gonna start with one. And I've been drinking a lot. I think a few of our guests have been as well. So,
Cheers.
Yeah,
Yes, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Starman doesn't have a drink.
No,
That's unusual.
Alright, so this first lightning round, what I'm going to do is kind of go around and just get everybody's answers quick. You got like however long, 5-10 seconds to answer. And then I'm just going to pick which the best answers. And you win that round. And there is a grand prize at the end for the winner. Okay, so.
Awesome.
So first up, and I'll just go in kind of the same order. Actually, we'll do a rotating order. So I'll just call out a name first, and you got it. So first up, question is: are you essential, Dylan?
Well, my day job, no. I'm at home with the emergency FMLA leave, taking care of the kids. So I guess in their world, I'm pretty essential. But as far as like society, not so much.
Alright. Mac, are you essential?
No, not at all. There's growing. Stay on the hangers. My cat doesn't even really need me because he's a cat. So no essential.
Alright. Nikki, are you essential?
I do strongly believe that I am essential, but because we work with a bunch of little wonderful children who are also blessed petri dishes, we have to be apart from them right now, and we miss them terribly.
Alright. Steve, Samuel.
I am essential only to the teacher I work for because she doesn't understand technology. So I have to set up everything for the classroom. So other than that, no, I'm the least essential person on the planet.
Good answer. Starman, are you essential?
I'm not essential. I'm a necessary evil. Actually, my company is essential. We keep a lot of the big things running, and so we have to be open. I'm only essential because I'm cross-trained and can do several people's jobs.
Good. Alright, because of that necessary evil remark, you win that round. So that's 1 point for Chris Starman. Alright, next up, what is your favorite word? Steve James.
Just any word?
Favorite word.
Twat. And it's said like that too, not twat. Twat.
Twat. Twat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Dylan, favorite word.
Wizards. I like them. I'd like to be one. They're pretty cool. Wizard, and you can be a wizard of anything, right? You could be a wizard of magic. You could be a wizard of woodworking.
Versatile field. Starman, favorite word.
Fuck, because it can be used as every word in a sentence. It can be a noun, a verb, an adjective. It really can be the most versatile word ever.
Okay. Nikki?
Kerfuffle is my favorite word because it sounds fluffy and adorable, and it's a really cute way to say big hot fucking mess.
Alright, yeah. Kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle, okay. I was putting an extra L in there. Mac, favorite word.
I was gonna say fuck, but Starman said that. I'm gonna go with cunt. I know most people hate that word, but I do so love it. Yeah.
I do love that word. That's a close second to twat.
That was
Yeah.
my second choice.
Yeah.
There's nothing that pisses a cunt off more than calling them a cunt.
Exactly.
Kind of just
You know.
flows off the lips, too.
It does.
And it's
I
all
think
in
it's
how
like so
you-
offensive though because it's so harsh. Like cunt.
Strong T at the
Like
end.
it's blunt. It's a very blunt word.
You gotta make it beautiful.
Alright,
How
well,
do you
I'm
make-
going to award that
Shave
round
it. I don't know.
to the pronunciation, the specific enunciation of twat.
Yes.
One more, Steve.
1 point.
Least favorite word. Mac, go.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Alright, good answer.
good one.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Nikki?
Maybe.
Ooh,
But one up the no. Maybe is even worse.
it
Because
is.
maybe usually always means no, but it comes from the mouth of someone who is afraid of commitment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. Alright, Summer.
There is no bad word. Everything is what you assign to it. You assign your own value to the word. So there are no bad words. And there's no least favorite word.
Steve?
The way my mom says orange is orange.
Some oranges.
With
Is
an,
she
I think
from
an I
Jersey?
and a Y in there somewhere. It's like nails on a chalkboard every time she says it.
Dylan?
That's cute.
No, it's not cute.
It's 2 words. I was gonna say conspiracy, but really it's conspiracy theories. I can't stand conspiracy theories, especially in our current state,
Yeah.
right? So conspiracy is one of my least favorite words.
Alright, that's a good answer. Because ooh, that's a tough round. Because I want to go with Steve again for the pronunciation. And
It's a good word.
Yeah, Steve. Alright, that's 2 points for Steve. How many, approximately, rolls of toilet paper have you used since this all began? Storm.
To me,
I am fortunate that we started this process with the world of 3-ply, and my ass has never been happier. So I think our whole household has only been through 2 rolls since this shit started.
Wow.
And there's a pun in there on that.
I see what you did. Nikki.
Honestly, like about the same as Starman, 2-3 rolls tops. And we were also very fortunate in that we had a house party not long before all of the things started going downhill, so we were stocked up on toilet paper already.
Dylan?
Did you say me?
Yep.
Oh,
I
sorry.
need to time out.
We at the commune here we have a bidet, so I think I changed our first toilet paper roll just recently. So we're doing well.
Nice. Conservative. Steve.
me 3, Ian, my roommate, 4,726.
A lot of
Guys,
shit in there.
more than anyone I know.
Okay. Wow.
He's sitting in the other room and he just said, "What the fuck?"
We know who does the pooping in the ass. Mac.
Honestly, we're also a super fancy, bougie ass toilet paper having family. We also ploppy immediately before taking a shower so as to not waste it. I want to say we might have gone through a roll and a half, maybe.
Nice. I gotta award that to Dylan for the day.
Yeah. I wish I had a bidet.
Is that refreshing? It seems refreshing.
Oh God, the one that we have, it's got a blow dryer, right? So
I was gonna ask, you have to dry off every time after, but if it has a blow dryer attached, I'm
Wow.
gonna browse to poop the next time I have to poop.
heated seat. It has an oscillating feature. Yeah, it's the Cadillac of the days, and I love it.
Oh,
That's amazing.
That
where
is
do I
amazing.
get one?
Yeah.
Luxury for
Like
the
the internet. I got ours.
Alright, next question. What turns you on? Mac.
Humans.
Yeah.
Humans turn me on. Oxygen.
Okay. Starman.
Everything. All of most things turn me on.
Yeah, it would probably be a lot easier to make a list of what doesn't. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Yes. Racism turns me off.
Okay. Yeah, let's make that a dual question. What's on? What's off?
I'm sorry, what?
So we'll make that a dual question, both what's on and what's off. So pretty much anything.
On is everything. Off is racism.
All right, good answer. Starman, on and off.
On, probably the more wrong, the better. And off, I don't know that I found that switch yet. I think hate in any way, shape, or form. How about that?
Steve.
On, I'm a simple man. I just get turned on by a girl wearing Lisa Loeb style glasses.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
I mean, just the sexiest thing in the world. And turned off by closed-mindedness. I don't like people that don't want to grow as a person. So there's a funny answer and a serious answer for you.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Nikki?
Did you
All
say
right,
me?
Nikki. On or off? Yeah, Nikki.
Okay. So turn-ons, red flags, and a whole lot of them. Love them. My track record will show you. I love me some red flags. The brighter, the better. Things that are a turn off. Well, we went over racism. We went over hate. We went over closed-mindedness, and those are all very valid. I'm gonna go with dishonesty.
Good
Yeah.
answer.
I'm not cool with you lying to me about shit.
Can I have just a quick moment?
Yeah.
I want to show everyone. Look at those glasses. How could you not be hard looking at those glasses?
Glad I'm not wearing pants right now.
Right there.
Dylan. On or off?
The kids having a sleepover at grandma's. That's a turn on. For the house. Turn off our city council meetings. Not that fun.
I gotta wear that one to the Mac.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thanks.
Do some quick tallying here. Because this has been so many questions already.
Steve's winning. He got 2 points. I can do it for you.
Yeah, sure. Steve 2. Chris 1, Dylan 1, Mac 1, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
No, you're
You
not.
gotta step your game up.
Huh?
You gotta step your game up.
I'm trying, man. You're coming in here with the weird pronunciations of colors and fruit and shit, and I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the news lady? Temperature. Temperature.
Very phonetic. Yeah.
If you
Good
can
on
give it.
her for the enunciation.
Oh, temperature.
That's like people who say comfortable.
What profession other than your own would you like to do? Is the next question.
I missed that. Sorry.
So what profession other than your own that you're doing right now, what profession would you like to try? Steve.
I want to be Anthony Rizzo for the Chicago Cubs. I know that's not a profession. I don't want to be the first baseman. I want to be first baseman Anthony Rizzo for the Chicago Cubs.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
He's a great dude. He is very charitable with his money. He makes a ton of money, but he doesn't keep a lot of it. He went to that high school in Florida, Stoneman Douglas or whatever, that got shot up, and ever since then has sent most of his paychecks to there. But also, I get to play first base for the Cubs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dylan. What profession would you like?
Firefighter. If I
Yeah.
could just randomly pick one. I was invited by the Rock Island Firefighters Union to go to an event that the Illinois State Firefighters Association puts on, where basically elected officials from across the state get to have a day of seeing what life is like for a firefighter. And so they took us into burning buildings, and I got to wear the whole get up and went through some mock scenarios. And I think I'd be a pretty bad firefighter just because I'm kind of a smaller dude. I can't like lift people up and run out of burning buildings. But if it's just a fantasy, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be a cool experience. Stan, what would you like to try?
I don't know that it's actually a job, but when I was out in Hawaii, if I could find a way to snorkel all day.
Snorkeler or
Well, then,
snorkel?
you can make a job of that. I want to do that.
Cool. Yeah, I've never been snorkeling. Nikki, what would you like to try?
Writer.
Yeah.
I would like to try being a writer, specifically fantasy fiction. So stuff in the genre of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all of those things I think would be really awesome to do.
Mac, what would you like to do?
I would be a sex therapist. I think as a nation, we repress so much of our sexual desires, and it just makes us into cunty little fucking psychopaths. So I would love to get down to the root of all of our parent discomforts and our sexual desires and just like let the freaks free.
You're calling Steve out so hard right now.
I know. I was thinking of Steve. I'm glad you picked that up.
Do you think I'm a freak in hiding or something? Because I can assure you I'm not.
Yes, Papito, you are.
And I
Yeah.
Only one way
Yes,
to find out.
can assure you.
Next live show.
Both Mac and Steve get half a point for that then.
Oh. Cheers, Mac.
Oh, nah.
What would you not like to do? What would be your least, like, fuck that. And we'll go in reverse, Mac.
Childcare of any sort
There's a lot of
or
that in there.
kind, period, at all.
Good answer. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Kids not a fan of them.
No. Mm-mm.
They're not for everybody. Nikki,
They're sticky. Ugh.
kind of loud. What would you not like to do? What would suck for you to do, Nikki?
I don't ever want to be a cop. They're not very well liked right now as a whole, and I don't want to risk getting shot every day.
Fair. No, I think it was Starman for going in reverse.
I've had most jobs on the planet, and I would never want to be a call center employee.
Why not?
No one likes picking up the phone and hearing someone on the other end.
Just in general, or just when it's a telemarketer?
Well, that too. I mean, how many of us really answer our phones?
Never.
I can avoid it.
No.
I have a lot of kind of part of the job.
I'll stop answering my phone now. Shit. Alright. Yeah, fuck a telemarketer. Steve.
Dylan's job.
Yes.
I think I could be diplomatic enough to be in local politics, but like you just mentioned, the phone calls and everyone trying to get my attention a lot would just drive me crazy. I think I would be good at parts of it, but a lot of it I would just absolutely hate doing.
I'm glad Dylan's doing it so we don't have to.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a pretty accurate description of the experience. Some parts you're pretty good at it, but other parts it's not fun.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan, what would you not want to do?
Touche, Steve. Educator. I mean, like I said, I'm here full time at home taking care of my kids, and I really miss them being at school, and I also know the frustration of trying to like teach them stuff, and that's from my own kids, let alone strangers. So your whole job sounds very
Horrible.
yeah, just defeating.
Yes.
It's defeating in a way, but it's very rewarding more than it is defeating.
I was like, I get to color all day.
I do too.
Living proof, yes.
Alright, well, I'm going to give that one to Nikki just for...
Yes, pity point. Thank you.
No pity point.
Hey, cheers to pity point.
Alright, well, this is the final lightning round James Lipton question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates? If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the gates? Starman.
You did all right with what I gave you.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
That's all.
That was cute.
It was really wholesome.
I know.
Wow.
Gonna be tough to beat. And
Now I feel bad about the answer that popped in my head.
in that case, Steve's next.
Right in the pussy.
What?
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Not fire right in the twat.
Ooh, that'd be great either. But you remember the guy that would run up to news reporters and yell, fuck her right in the pussy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hero, yeah.
I just think that'd be hilarious if God did that when I got to heaven. Armin's answer.
That would be a hell of a twist.
It would be.
Mac.
Fuck her in the pussy.
Yeah.
Starman ruined everything I had in me. That was perfect. I don't even know why we're still talking about this.
Nikki.
See, I'm gonna curb stomp God as soon as I fucking get up there if he exists and make him apologize to everyone for cancer and AIDS and poverty.
Yes, bitch.
Alright.
This shit was bullshit, alright?
That's true. That's, and Dylan.
Well, I envision myself floating up into the heavens and approaching the golden gates, and they swing open majestically, and there's we've been upgraded. All right, cool. The gates open slowly, and the choirs are singing, and God comes out, and he says, "Roll for initiative."
Damn. I was gonna give it to Chris, but that's...
Dylan. It's Dylan. Sorry.
It's Chris.
It's Chris.
Chris was cute. That's never a thing.
That's two
Yeah,
to
but
one.
Dylan had a D&D joke, and that's like
I mean,
topical.
that's good. It was
We
good
got
build
a
up,
real
too.
moment out of Chris.
Like,
I don't know what D&D is.
I am so sorry.
well, alright,
No.
so Steven and Mac are going Chris, and he's going Dylan. So I gotta get, that's 2-1. Chris, you win
Democracy.
I
people.
tried for you. I tried.
Appreciate it.
Nerds never win.
Fellow
I
nerd.
Alright, so that means
love nerds.
both Dylan and Nikki have 1 point. Mac has a point and a half. Chris has 2. And Steve is our winner with 2.5 points.
Cheers,
Wait,
everybody.
Yeah.
Woo.
What do I win?
I don't know. Roll of toilet paper.
Respect.
I had it somewhere.
I thought there was a
but-
prize.
Yeah, there is a roll of toilet paper.
Oh,
I
sweet.
thought it was.
You can claim it at after this apocalypse thing is over.
Okay, cool. It's like rebate toilet paper right now.
We know Ian's shitting the house up.
Yeah. He's shitting right now.
Alright. So we got the lightning round out of the way. Let's this I just kind of wanted to discuss how everything's been affecting you guys and all of us in your particular fields or lines of work or just personal too. One of the first things I want to know is how have you guys been, or what methods have you been using to adapt or I guess evolve your methods of work now? Because I mean, obviously we're all having Zoom meetings and stuff like that, but what I don't know if you have anything as far as what you've been doing at your jobs lately. What's been different?
So in the school district, and I'm sure Nikki can attest to this too, it's been completely upheld. We're doing everything online right now and trying to get ready to launch Google Classroom. We're trying to get it ready for next week in Rock Island. Nikki works in, do you work in Davenport or Buffalo? What's your school?
My school is in Bluegrass, but
Bluegrass.
I'm in Davenport schools.
Okay. Yeah, so we keep getting a lot of different information about when we're going to be starting the online stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working a little helping the teacher I work with get online and get on and do a whole bunch of stuff that they want her to do because she doesn't know the technology. Other than that, I've just been trying to keep a routine and take it day by day. I can say we have done a couple of, on Google Hangouts, we've done a couple of reading lessons with a couple kids, just kind of testing the water, see how it works. And the other day, we were doing a reading lesson with one of our students. He's a 4th grader. And we asked him to go get a book from a different room, and he got up to get the book, and he wasn't wearing a shirt. So,
Surprise!
yeah, online learning. It's going great.
What
Echoing Steve, yeah, we are also transitioning to doing all of our learning online right now and having tons of online meetings, all of our professional developments on Google Hangouts. And like this week, all the teachers and staff had to get trained in Google Apps and things like that. So we had to complete like a 12-hour training program online. And it's kind of insane and stressful. And I'm thankful I'm fairly tech savvy. But a lot of people I collaborate with in the district, like they are not. So I'm trying to help them get through stuff. And I started a YouTube channel for all of my art lessons that kids could do in grades like kindergarten through 8th grade. So that's been the thing I've been sharing out constantly. So, but it's weird to teach to a screen and not to kids. I miss that.
I bet.
Yeah, my classroom has been crazy this year, and I actually am missing it. I'm missing it a lot right now, which I didn't think I would. But we were actually in the middle of our spring break in Rock Island when news hit that they were going to be closing for another week, and then it was a week after that, and now it's till the end of April.
Yeah, so were we. We had like just started our spring break.
Yeah.
What do the kids? That's what I was kind of wondering because I don't have any kids. And what do kids think of all this? Like, what are their reactions? Like, are they scared? Are they just treating it as every other day? Or
our kids, I don't know. I don't know what Steve's school or what his kids are doing, but I know like my building's kids, they miss us. They want to come back. We did a staff parade where we lined up our cars and like we drove all around Bluegrass and like families stood pretty much outside their house and kept distance from each other and we honked and they waved. And like myself and like so many other teachers were just in tears the entire time because like the kids so clearly missed us and they had signs made and all of that. It's like they want to be back at school.
Yeah.
This is rough.
Yeah, the two kids that we've had reading lessons with, I mean, I can only speak for them. One of them was saying that he just misses going out and playing basketball with his friends. So that sucks. But another one, he mostly spends his days playing video games anyway. And he said he's even starting to get bored with video games. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My kids, they miss their friends, but other than that, this is heaven for them. They get to play video games and watch TV all day.
Yeah.
What are your kids doing?
Well, the 3-year-old, she usually goes up to grandma's, but she's not doing that now. So, we try to keep a routine here. She's young enough that it's not a huge difference.
Sure.
However, our 10-year-old, we're doing like the online e-learning that the Rock Island Milan School District rolled out.
Are you, sorry to interrupt, are you doing the choice boards? How is that working for you?
Yeah, so we're doing the choice boards, and it pales in comparison to a full day in school, right?
Right.
Pick 4 of these assignments out of 10 to do a day, and he just does them in like 10 minutes, and just like, okay, I'm done, So
they're so generic that they're very simple and quickly done. Like we were looking at them with one of our kids the other day, and on Google Hangouts, I can kind of present and show my screen and walk them through all like the different things they can do. And he saw one for the kid that I was with, saw one for physical ed, and he's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And it was like, pick a word and act that word, spell that word with your body. Just like,
yeah, it takes 2 seconds to get the assignment done.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, I'm going back to my phone.
Yeah.
But he also is feeling the effects of being stuck in a house all day, every day.
What grade is he in? I missed that.
5th.
5th? Okay. Yeah.
He obviously misses hanging out with friends and doing something other than, same boat. Like, getting tired of playing video games. If 10-year-olds can do that, it's just sort of, you can tell that they're ready to not be in a house.
Yeah, you can only do so much of the same thing for so long.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise,
it seems like the kids are getting as stir crazy as us educators are.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of curious about.
Yeah.
As far as other areas, how's like the political realm been as far as I'm sure you guys are doing a lot more. Obviously, not handshaking. That's been a thing. We're talking about not shaking hands anymore. Fauci. Like, are we gonna veto that? We think.
I have no idea. Political side of things, it's like a combination of being very busy but not busy at the same time, right? Like all of these businesses are forced to shut down, and I'm Facebook messaging, calling, texting all of the owners and people in the community, my constituents, and saying, how can I help? But then the reality is like, we can help very little. I mean, the city has unrolled out some programs to help, some grants, and obviously the federal and state governments are rolling out loans and things like that. We're trying to do what we can to keep people afloat. But a lot of it's just kind of like, I mean, there's not a lot that we can do about it. So one of the main things that I keep thinking about that probably is not front of mind to a lot of people that aren't in municipal government is the fact that this is going to wreck our budget. The city of Rock Island was not exactly financially solid prior to this. And now, I mean, with the stock market crash, I was emailing our finance director asking how our pensions, Illinois municipality, firefighter and police pensions, right? That's kind of a big deal. They were already woefully underfunded. And now, in talking to our finance director, 20% of the value of the fund is just gone, which it was only like 30% funded in the first place. So not good. So I'm terrified of how this is going to impact our revenues as a government and our ability to fulfill the services and the things that a city does, where it's not going to be good.
For sure.
So how do you guys recover from that?
Yeah.
What do you guys do to get back on at least semi-solid ground?
Well, I mean, prior to all of this, the method that the city was doing was having to raise taxes. Obviously, it's a sore subject. People weren't exactly happy about it. At this point, a lot of hope is coming from the upper levels of government, right? The state and the feds. In the most recent coronavirus legislation that the president signed, there is a lot of money included in the stimulus for local governments. I read that the Rock Island Milan School District is estimated to get $2.5 million out of that stimulus. So that should be good. I haven't seen yet what the city of Rock Island is expected to receive. If anything, I think it goes to the state, and then of course there is the fight between the city of Chicago and every other city in Illinois, where money gets dispersed. I don't know. I mean, we have some history to compare to, whether that be 9/11 or the 2008 financial crisis, and the way that we reacted to that was just, I mean, your budget shrinks, you lay off staff, and just like any other business, right? You fire cops, you fire firefighters, you stop. I mean, this is one of the most frustrating things for me is I've been sitting here thinking of all these policies and these programs that I want to enact for the city of Rock Island, and all of that. I mean, every June, the city council has an annual goal setting session where the city council gets together and says, okay, for the next year, what's our policy agenda? What are the ordinances that we want to, direct staff to research and pass? And I'm sitting here with my little notebook of like, we're going to do all this cool shit in June, do all these neat programs. And now that's just gone, right? Now we're in damage control mode where goodbye any progressive future foresight initiatives. We're now in just survival mode, which just sucks.
For sure. Well, Starman, I know you're essential-ish. You've been working a ton of hours lately too. What's work been like, man?
So we service essential industry, Alcoa, Deere, Tyson, all the things that have to keep running. It's definitely slower because a lot of those places have lowered their production, whether it be due to corona-related corona-related illnesses, or just having quarantines and whatnot. So things have gotten slower, but we're still busy because we've been following protocol, sending non-essential people home, having people work from home when they can. So we definitely have less staff, and so we're kind of spreading ourselves to keep up with what's going on.
Nick, are you still able to cut hair in this? I imagine not. I've heard, at least a lot of friends of mine are very frustrated, the hairstylist friends, that people are still contacting them, trying to get their stylist to come and do their hair, which has to...
Yeah, right now I have 4 people that are eager for me to make house calls. I'm not doing that. First off, it's illegal. Second of all, I feel like I'm not supposed to be at people's houses right now, so that's not happening. So like out of everyone, I feel like my job is probably like the least major appearing, and I kind of always thought I had a frivolous job. And after watching how many of my clients are handling the fact that they are stuck with their own reflections in less than their favorite state, has been a little heart-wrenching. It's not just Steve that has lost his effing mind and let his roommate or husband or
Not husband.
whatever you want to call Ian.
We're almost common law at this point, probably.
Whatever you call Ian.
Probably save on your taxes.
Yeah, no, I let Ian cut my hair a
That was-
couple weeks ago, and Cam was not happy about it. It turned out better than I expected. This is 2 weeks growth, but
Yeah.
there's still, it's not my normal cut, and I do miss Cam.
Yeah, like it's I mean, I watched one of my coworkers talk her husband through a haircut. I have received a good handful of messages asking me how to fix the haircut they've given their children or their spouses. I've seen some terrible bangs that people have tried to trim themselves. I mean, literally the moment that we started to record this, I got some pictures from a friend of mine who got some manic panic bleach and just took it to her head herself. I have
knocked all her hair off.
Nope. Luckily, it's short hair, so there's still hair on the head. What that hair is going to feel like, I have no testament to. But yeah, no, I've literally, like, I'm threatening my husband with having to teach him how to highlight, because what's hiding under this is like too much regrowth and like more hair than I can pull on the sides. It's hard for me because my job is very social and very physical and very loving. And I pride myself on being a cold-hearted, black-souled bitch. And being in lockdown has ruined all of those illusions for me. I did not realize how crucial it was to like my sanity and my like emotional well-being and like self-worth to get all of those hugs from all of those clients all day long. Like my coworkers were like obsessed with each other. So like when we're at work, we're honking heinies and telling each other how cute we are and giving sweet little lady kisses. And like, I mean, Steve and Nikki can both tell you, when you're in our salon, like you're at home, everyone's talking, everyone's drinking, everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
And God, I'm a little emotional. Like today's been an emotional day. I miss my friends and I miss being able to support them. Like for me, being like a healer through hair and performing through art, I feel like I can't heal my friends like I normally would. Like watching Steve cut his hair, like, yeah, he needed a haircut. It was way overdue. But like the hairstylist in me is like, he's in pain and he's lonely and we're not talking shit right now and I'm not here for you and I'm sorry. Like I literally called in because I had to be a part
Yeah, she called in during the Facebook Live video that Ian and I were doing. And honestly, I did feel bad. I knew I wasn't going to be able to see you, and it was driving me crazy. And I
get it.
See, that's why I am washing my hair as little as possible, because I don't know when I'm going to see you again. And like, I'm just going to let all these bangs grow out, and I'm just going to brush a greasy-ass mess for weeks at a time and avoid washing this. So
that's what we can do.
No way am I trying to cut it myself. Sorry.
No, you can't cut your own hair. Oh my goodness, bless my heart. No.
Cam, you should be, because I honestly, before I came up with the idea to let Ian cut it on Facebook Live, I was just gonna not shave it off, but buzz it.
You don't have the head for that.
I know I don't, but I also know I'm not going anywhere right now. I'm stuck in my house. I go to Aldi every 4 days.
Okay, but here's the trick of it that like none of you are realizing. You never cared what anyone thought before. Like the reason you had to cut your own hair and the reason you wanted to shave your own head is because the truth of the matter is you've always cared what you look like. Yeah, and it makes you feel better to like see a reflection as you've decided it. We always think that we're doing all of this for everyone else, but like I put on this makeup because I don't want anyone to know how sad and pathetic I looked all day long. Like I'm telling y'all, these armpits are foul.
Well, that's why I'm wearing a tie and a button-up shirt. I haven't worn a button-up shirt in a month.
You know what I mean?
I wear one every day to work, and I wanted to be able to dress up a little bit and have an occasion.
That's how I'm feeling about makeup and stuff right now. Like this is the first time I've worn makeup in days. And if I put makeup on, it's to film a YouTube art lesson, and then it's right back off. And just going through the routine of putting makeup on again, and just like, oh my gosh, I feel like myself. This is awesome. And yeah.
This is the first time since Ian cut my hair that I'm not wearing a hat. Honestly.
Poor thing.
And it's not because Ian cut my hair and it looked bad. It's because I just wake up and I throw a hat on because it's just easier.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. Well, does anybody have any like heartwarming or super sappy stories to share that have happened to them throughout this? Because I would love to hear them. That's part of why I did this. Like, we've been talking a lot about how we miss out on the physical, aspect. We even miss out on seeing other people communicating a lot too. These Zoom meetings have been awesome for so many people, at least that I've been in, and they've mentioned, it really made their day a lot of the time. And I think a lot more people should be doing them that are experiencing bad times. So I'm glad you guys are all here. And do you guys have any examples, any type of happy stuff? Because I know I've seen pollution go down everywhere, but stuff like that.
Smoopy, gross personal note, but my fiance told me he did not care if he married me in the living room of our house with me wearing a burlap sack. It would still be the happiest day of his life. So being a bride trying to plan a wedding right now is horribly stressful. We're supposed to go basically like elope in Vegas this summer, and we might have to cancel all of that to lose out like on your dream wedding. And so many brides are going through this is just like heart-wrenching. But him being like, I don't even care. Like I love you for you. Like you are my person, and it's gonna be the perfect day no matter what. And I'm like, oh my god, I start crying everywhere. And I was like, but I need Mac to do my hair at least. Like you're gonna have to coach me through at least making this look nice. Yeah.
He does like virtual reality gloves.
That's my heartwarming story, is that at least my person will still want to marry me, even if it's the most low-key ceremony ever.
Bobby's awesome.
Bobby is awesome. He's a keeper.
Bobby's the best, seriously. Yeah. I don't deserve him. He's amazing. No red flags. Go outside your norm, guys. Go outside your norm.
Any other, anybody else?
My heartwarming story. Well, for one, for any to watch this in the replay, my husband just walked through that area naked twice.
Was he naked?
Noticed that.
Yeah, he just got out the
Missed it
shower.
both times.
My husband is essential and just got out the shower and walked from the bathroom to his bedroom holding his man parts in his hand. Thank you.
And we did a third time.
I love Josh.
Yeah, so my heartwarming moment is through all of this. My fans and friends, my little DeVillains and my baby dragons have been amazing and loving and supportive. They've jumped on all of the weird stuff that I've done on social media, all of my weird questions. I got so many random nudes and stories about the nudes. I got a penis with a toilet paper roll on it. Like, I really hope he outs himself after this. It was thoroughly impressive. Like, and everyone asked consent, you know what I mean? They were just like, did you really mean nudes? And I was like, yeah, I really meant nudes. That was thrilling and a really fun day.
Cam, on an unrelated note, can you send me your phone number?
Yeah, got you. Got you. Yeah. I will always take a penis picture, especially if I'm asked first. Like, I am that chick. Send me your wieners, send me your bosoms.
I'm going to send you Ian's wiener.
Yeah, you can send me.
You already have pics of Ian's dick in your phone.
Yeah.
Goddamn beer.
The other thing is, I've been doing Good to Go and like full Mac drag on Friday
How's
and
that been
Saturday.
going?
And it's just to people that request me. So it's pretty much just like my DeVillains and my dragons. And so I actually got to see some of like my most favorite people from a distance, and just like that little moment of being like Big Booty Judy, Anthony O'Leary, like just Veer, like Kim. We couldn't snuggle, but it was still really cool. Like, I can't cut your hair, I can't take my clothes off for you, but like, here are your tacos. Like, it was really awesome. And my girlfriend managed to catch me during a moment where I was having a full-blown meltdown and sent me flowers from Cedar Rapids to make it better.
Wow.
What kind of flowers?
It was cute. Yeah.
Any other? What kind of flowers were they?
It was like a mixed arrangement, so I don't really like
Variety
roses.
pack.
Yeah, but it was like a springy pink and yellow lilies and cute things, and yeah, it was gay. She messaged my husband to get the address, and they like conspired against me to deliver me flowers.
Wow.
Good
You know.
conspiracy.
No, she knew that already. My husband's here now.
Anybody else got?
Oh, he's
Hi,
wearing a
Josh.
shirt.
I wanted to be on this whole conversation tonight, but I just got off work now, so I didn't know she was going to be on it. So when I turned it on in the parking lot driving home, I was like, yes.
Episode 2, you, Mike Jasinski, Josh Kahn. I don't know who else we got, but I think there's somebody else signed up. So.
Nice.
Jenny wanted to.
Oh yeah, Jenny. Because Jenny was supposed to be here tonight, but had a bit of a sore throat, I believe, or something. She's been singing a lot on the Socially
Hope
Distant
she's
Fest.
feeling
And,
better.
yeah, I hope she's feeling better. But
We
if
have
we
two, John.
yeah,
You got two.
all right.
One, like Steve was saying, I go to a lot of meetings doing the alderman stuff, right? Many evenings out of the week, I'm going to neighborhood association meetings, or I'm meeting with this group or that group or whatever, and I can't go to meetings anymore, which is it's been a great breath of fresh air, just not having to do any of that, where I can just be at home. I've remembered that I enjoy cooking, and so having the time to just do whatever I want to do versus what things I have to do. And then my second thing, going along the same lines there, talking about Zoom meetings and everything, since the shelter-in-place orders, I have a regular Dungeons and Dragons group that I play D&D with, the Dude Questers. and we're playing online now, which is pretty fun. We're playing more than we usually in like normal circumstances. We play, I don't know, like twice a year or something. It's just so very sporadic. But now we're playing twice a week, every Wednesday and Saturday night. So, I mean, it's a nice social interaction where I'm not at home. Well, I am technically at home, but it's my social relief that I get to sit in front of a computer and talk about wizards and orcs with some good friends. So it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's been cool how we've, like, a lot of us have found or been able to find silver linings or ways to stay connected with everybody, and it's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that about wraps up the second thing. I don't know how much extra time they gave me on the Zoom meeting, but if we want to stick around and keep talking for a bit.
Can I, sorry, I had to go pee real quick.
Oh, you don't have to apologize.
I missed Dylan's heartwarming moment, and I'm really sorry about that, Dylan.
It's all right. I talked about playing D&D with Ian, so.
Oh, yeah. I've seen and heard that. I want to say my heartwarming thing real quick, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm still getting paid for my job, even though I'm not working. The school district had said you're still getting your normal paycheck, so you don't have to worry about that. Plus, I'm getting the stimulus thing. So I have decided to finally, after years and years and years of putting it off and considering it, I'm going to get a dog.
Cool.
Yeah. I put the deposit down last week, and they're going to make it this summer, and I'm going to get it this fall. It's going to be a Great Dane Noodle, which is a mix of a Great Dane and a poodle.
That sounds
I don't
awesome.
even know what that means.
It's
Need a
going to
dog,
be my
but
little buddy. It's great.
I need a
Maybe
picture
dog
of
park dates.
Yes. I want it to be a very social dog, to be around other dogs. So definitely going to be taking it to dog parks and stuff. I mean,
Yes.
it will be fall before I get it, but a little something to look forward to in this crazy time.
Oh, yeah. Dig it. All right, well, let's move on to the current event / wild card segment, where what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of list a category quick, and then we'll, first I want to gauge how familiar you are with it, like what, so for instance, 5G coronavirus conspiracies, the link. How familiar have you, like, what degree of people on your social media or that you know in person have made mention of this, or how aware are you of that's a thing right now? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say. Or just whatever, it doesn't matter. But have you heard of this conspiracy before, basically, is what I'm asking.
I see a few a day.
Yeah.
On social media mentions, but other than that, I mean, I haven't really looked into it. So I'm probably sitting at a nice comfortable 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting at like a 2 tops. I really haven't seen a whole lot about it.
The posts I see about it are usually mocking the people that believe in the conspiracy.
Same.
Okay. Kind of like Flat Earth. Like, you know a lot of people making fun of Flat Earthers, but do you know a lot of Flat Earthers? Like,
I dated one.
Unfortunately.
Ugh.
Yep.
you tricked somebody into being a Flat Earther?
John believed the Earth was flat.
Red flag, Steve. Red flag.
I know. And the sad
It's
thing
so
is,
attractive, right? Like,
the sad thing is, I
red flags are
continued to
great.
date her 3 months after she had said, "Hey, this video about these flat earthers made some really good points, and you should watch this video." And I sat there and watched the video, and then I continued to date her for 3 months
Yes, you did.
after that. Yeah,
Yes,
Wait,
you
was
did.
Well, nobody's
yeah,
perfect.
it was.
Apparently, red flag, like your color, red flags.
Red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, gray. I get it.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of it lately, and it's scary. Let people believe it. It's scary,
I'm
not
on
the
another
actual.
social website where on minds.com. I've talked to John about it. It's just like Facebook, but it's not really censored. And on Facebook, I'd say like a 2 about the 5G thing, but on minds.com, I would say an 8 to a 9. It's
Really?
constantly posted about 5G networks, and it has been for over a year. So I've been reading a ton about the 5G. What I thought was interesting about it is before coronavirus, 5G was the source, the baby of all these other things, conspiracy. Then when COVID came out, now all of a sudden they're connected.
Yeah.
They're just trying to connect 5G with something
Yeah.
over the past year, and it changes what that something is what I've seen.
It's weird. It takes
I
on like a
hadn't
hybrid.
really been seeing a lot of it, or I didn't realize that I was seeing a lot of it until one of my clients sent me a video by a guy. I want to say his name was Young Pharaoh, maybe. Black Pharaoh, Young Pharaoh. I don't know. Handsome young black fella. But particularly within the Black community, there is this belief that the 5G is a way to get us to think that we've got the coronavirus, so that we go into medical centers, and when they give us either the vaccine or any kind of treatment, they can slip in something that in fact gives us coronavirus. Because we're ethnic, we're DNA more related to monkeys and dogs. And because of that, the coronavirus recognizes that in our DNA. So if we get it organically, our bodies fight it off better, or just doesn't respond to it at all. However, if they can give us the 5G and make us think that our lungs are filling up with water, we'll go in and we'll get the shot, which will actually give us the corona that will kill us. And I didn't realize I was seeing that because it didn't sound like real words, but that's
a complex.
That's a thing that I've been seeing. Yeah. I'm not saying they're wrong. They could be right.
That's
It's so
possible.
absurd that it just might be true, but it sounds
Unlikely.
a very long road.
I'll go ahead and categorically put that one down as false, just from the science perspective of it, the DNA side of it.
Thank you.
There's nothing in any sort of ethnic DNA that makes anyone more closely related to any species of animal other than human.
Yeah.
So that science.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt about it. I'm like, I'm not really a scientist, but I have seen Jurassic Park a bunch of times.
Then you're a scientist.
Genealogist, you know what I mean? Like, and I just don't feel like, I just don't feel like DNA, my brown makes his white any different. Like, I don't.
It doesn't. No.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about conspiracy theories. They, just like Josh said, they'll take one topic that might have some vague... Because 5G, I mean, in certain countries they have, they currently don't have it just because they, believe there is some health effects to that itself, nothing to do with coronavirus, and that's been going on for years. And I still don't believe there's anything dangerous about it at all. But they've been going on for years, and conspiracy theorists will take one idea, attach something that might be plausible or have some kind of, thing they can point to as a danger, and then it spreads from there. But it's so weird why these certain things spread, or why certain things trend like this, these conspiracies. Why now and why this? Like, is it just because people are scared in general, and they wanted to take coronavirus and turn it into something else? Or why did it catch on? It's just a weird thing. It makes no sense to me. So I'm just confused why it spread.
See, I don't know. I don't follow up on a lot of conspiracy theories because I don't believe in a lot of conspiracy theories. But I saw that movie about flat earthers, and they got a lot of their information from 2 or 3 big people that were really putting it out there. Mm-hmm. That they're the kind of influencers, and everyone else is kind of following them, and then they're spreading it around, and then those people are spreading it around to other people who are spreading it around. So I don't know if that's the same thing here, but I don't believe in the 5G thing. To me, I mean, I know almost nothing about it. It might cause health problems, but when I hear people say that 5G causes coronavirus, I am reminded of when our president said that windmills cause cancer.
Exactly.
It just sounds ridiculous.
Exactly. And that reminded me, it was Woody Harrelson that spread that on his Twitter, the 5G coronavirus shit. So it is like, yeah, influencers, just random
It
celebrities.
was Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, he posted some shit like that, and then who else?
Wait,
there's
We're
been
talking about something the conspiracy theorists have come up with, and they're all basing it on something that the dude from Zombieland said.
Singer MIA also, whoever that is. Somebody the kids like,
Oh,
I guess,
yes.
I don't know.
She's at it.
People are airplane.
Are these people that believe in the conspiracy, or people that originated the conspiracy?
They just spread it on Twitter, I believe. They helped to popularize it.
They heard about it and said, "Oh, this has got to be true."
Well, oh, that sounds believable. 5G Corona, yeah. I should tweet about that.
How many countries have 5G currently?
A ton of them. Like,
I mean, like 5G cell service. What, 4, 5? United States, England.
I said
couple
there's
of the,
setting it up in countries,
I don't
aren't
really
they?
know. I just made that up. Let me check.
But they're not in like Costa Rica or Puerto Rico or like that. And how many countries have coronavirus? Pretty much all of them at this point.
Yeah.
5G's now.
Well, over
So-
1,000, but yeah, like 100.
If you're following the logic of coronavirus being caused by 5G, you would have to have 5G in all these places to give everyone coronavirus.
The logic.
well,
Once
We're
you do the
we're trying to apply logic onto conspiracy theories, which
Right.
is like mutually exclusive. Being my experience being a part of government, right? I mean, I am an elected representative for a municipal government, and that really sheds a lot of light on conspiracy theories, or at least shapes my perspective on conspiracy theories. I mean, so I've been an alderman for like 3 years now, and I'm still learning, about how the city government works and different things that are going on. I mean, it's just, these are vastly complicated systems, and I'm just talking about like a government here, let alone a technological thing like 5G. You have the technology itself, like the physics and the science. You have the regulators, the part of the government that are verifying and saying, is this safe? Is this not safe? These are such complex monsters that hundreds, if not thousands of people are working on trying to harness the technology for us to use, that to think that one person armed with YouTube would be able to like understand that is just, it's unrealistic. And so when I, with my 3 years of experience in a municipal government, when somebody comes to City Hall during a city council meeting and starts talking and complaining about something that the city is doing or is not doing, like 99% of the time, it's just simply they don't know, or they don't understand, or the city hasn't communicated exactly what we're doing, right? Like people will say, wow, you did this. And it's like, well, actually that's the school district's property, that you need to go talk to the school board, or whatever the case may be, right? Like these are just woefully complicated things, and it's unrealistic to assume that we can dedicate enough time to become experts on everything. So, you either go down two paths. One is you don't trust it because maybe something happened in your life, or you're just generally a distrustful person, and so your automatic response is, that's the government, it must be bad. Or you are a more trusting person that believes that we have reasonable systems in place, and even though I may not understand 5G, I am assuming that the systems in place are sincere and they're working to make sure it's safe and working and all that good stuff. And so that's the two paths. You either just kind of say, well, I don't really know anything about 5G, but I'm going to trust that the professionals in charge of this do. Or I don't know anything about 5G. I don't trust those guys. There's something going on here, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing too, is everyone that I've seen post anything about this 5G conspiracy, it's literally just them posting about it. I have not seen anyone posting any kind of articles from any scientific journals backing up their claims. There's no.
They're lying, man.
I know, and that's like I tend to believe in scientists.
Right.
Which I wasn't always that way. I was born and raised Catholic. So I had to myself realize that science is the correct thing. Scientists don't just lie about stuff like that. They don't. There are so many checks and balances in science.
And
They have to. There's so many steps in their process before they do anything or publish anything.
Correct. And we lose track of the scope of things, right?
Right.
There have been clear examples of technological or scientific medical abuse in history, right? There have been times when people have been subjected to, take this shot. It's good, it's just a test or whatever, and it infected them with syphilis or we've had these examples where you can justifiably say, maybe we shouldn't trust everything that somebody is saying. But then you kind of lose track of the scope, right? Like we have 5 examples from history where the medical community has betrayed the trust of the public out of the millions and millions and millions of other tests and developments that have occurred. You kind of, statistically speaking, you're far more likely to get hit by a car than die from coronavirus being infected by 5G or whatever.
Right. And that's how I feel about anti-vaxxers too, but that's a different rant for a different time.
Yeah. No. I was going to interject. I think honestly what we really dug up on is if it's a true conspiracy theory, they also believe that the government is after the small man. And if those small countries don't have 5G, it can't be connected to the corona, right? Because there's no money there. And the big man always goes after the small man, and then all those small men are safe, so it can't be connected. We solved that problem.
Right.
All right. Well, that was
Kind
really
of going back to your original point on conspiracy theories too. I think conspiracy theories tend to follow fear and our inability to handle things as they are. They have to be bigger than what they are. So if you look back in history, obviously 9/11, there's plenty of conspiracy theories around that. There were plenty of conspiracy theories going around when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. A lot of people said that was an inside job. And so these things tend to follow. The most logical answer for 9/11 is terrorists didn't like us. They learned how to fly planes. They flew them into buildings. That's the most logical answer. But some people can't accept that is what happened, that we failed as a government to find those people ahead of time, to stop them, to let them get on planes. So rather than follow the logical path, they have to create a story to make it bigger so they can accept it.
Yeah. Create a bigger monster than the one they can obviously see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, if it's something on a grand scale like Pearl Harbor or 9/11, it's hard for people to believe that, that was just an attack. That how could that just happen? How could these people infiltrate our country like that? It had to have been our country that did that. So
Conspiracy theories are just a way for people to process tragedy.
Yeah.
When it boils down to it,
the bridge that they take to get there. But the end result, I'm always just no, it's not. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, 9/11 was an inside job, guys. Right? We know this.
7-Eleven?
Yeah. It
had to be us attacking us because we're too strong for that. Come on. I've been to today. There's no way.
We had to fight the fuse that would lead to so much economic problems and a war that cost so much money, and that would eventually lead to the housing crisis in 2008, and that all led to this and coronavirus. See, I just made up my own conspiracy.
I believe
all of this goes back to 9/11.
We're in the twilight zone.
Steve's right. This is 9/11 all over again.
Yeah.
Bernie dropped out of the race. What do we think about that?
About what?
Bernie dropping out.
Oh, Bernie dropping out, yeah.
I'm not surprised, but I'm still sad. I was talking to my mom about this yesterday, and is just we had so many amazing Democrat candidates, and we still went with the shittiest option.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, and my mom made this like really interesting point where, because she liked Yang and she liked Warren and she liked Bernie, but she feels like candidates like Yang, like the boomers, are not ready for someone young. They want old guys. And the whole problem is like boomers are still the majority of the voters, or at least like that last generation is. And she brought up like they're always going to put old men in power, at least until they die off. And then the end of her generation and our generation is going to come in and start saying like, hey, we can bring these more like young people with more like progressive ideas in, or these older people like Bernie with really progressive ideas in. But we had to go with the fucking old guy again. He's a loser. Like,
I mean, Bernie's old too. Let's be honest.
Bernie's
well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is like Bernie's old, but he's also really progressive. Like,
Yeah, he hasn't been accused of sexual assault either.
yeah.
Yeah, not
You
yet.
know, his platform has stayed consistent.
If he got the nomination, he would.
Right?
I know
Yeah.
John has a lot of thoughts on this.
Oh God, yeah. Where do I start? Bernard Sanders.
Full name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's my boy. 2016 taught me a lot. I was pretty heavily involved in Bernie's campaign back then. I was a delegate to the DNC, if anybody remembers that, to Philadelphia, and that was prior to me being more formally involved in political systems. Right. That was before I ran for city council. Before the other political stuff that I've now gotten into. But you know, being at the convention and the emotional, frankly, I was heavily emotionally invested in Bernie's campaign in 2016, and losing it now in 2020, I was very guarded. I mean, I obviously was involved and did my part for the campaign, but the emotional part of it, I was much more guarded this time around. You know, obviously wanting him to win, but not allowing myself to be as devastated as I was last time. You know, I have a lot of thoughts on Bernie dropping out, and like, you know, talking about what do we do, the Bernie or bust thing, the vote for Biden because he's better than Trump, whatever. There's a lot of things going on. Why did Bernie's campaign not succeed again? Blame it on the boomers, blame it on different demographics, whatever. I have tried to be conscious as a white male to like listen to those that are not like me, that went with other candidates, right? That voted overwhelmingly for Biden. We have to be mindful of our own echo chambers, and you know, like, obviously with my politics and the people that I like to hang out with, like this chat group here, it's pretty obvious that the people that I hang out with are going to like Bernie Sanders too. And so then when I see in the news that Bernie Sanders is losing the race, I look around and I say, well, what the hell? Everybody that I know likes Bernie.
Yeah.
Then we start getting a conspiracy thing again. Then you start saying, oh, well, the DNC rigged it or whatever. And I don't want to get into any of that. But my point is, we need to be mindful of our echo chambers. And even if everybody that you know liked Bernie, there are a lot of people out there that like Biden for whatever reason. And I have tried to be mindful of listening to those people as opposed to A, telling them that they're doing it wrong, or B, like, you know, writing them off as whatever, you know. And so, I don't know. I mean, the Bernie campaign in 2016 motivated me to run for city council in Rock Island, which I succeeded at doing. And again, I think that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, that's been my biggest takeaway from Bernie's campaign from day one, is that it's not just these hashtags, not me, us, or whatever. If we want to see the instrumental change, the fundamental change within our systems, then, you know, we got to fight for it. And there are massive systems at play that end up with these results, right? Like campaigns work in a certain way and political systems work in a certain way. And we're not going to win them by not learning how they work, just like a scientist learns how a molecular system works or learning how a teacher teaches or whatever. I mean, my day job and my political life are both very heavily emphasized on politics and learning where the levers are and how to do what. And we need to better understand how these systems work so that we can manipulate them to our benefit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really understand what you're saying about the echo chamber thing, because not only do I'm social media friends with a lot of people that share the same opinions that I do, but even I just recently moved to Iowa and was able to caucus for the first time in my life this year. And at my precinct, Biden wasn't even viable after the first round of voting. The 4 candidates that were viable were Bernie, Warren, Pete, and Amy Klobuchar. So I thought that night, I mean, that's the first caucus of any of the caucuses or primaries. I thought that night, oh, Biden's fucked. Biden's gone. Because I was even talking to other people that were at different precincts, and they're like, yeah, Biden got almost no one. So to see that we're, as a state here in Iowa, we're stuck in our own little echo chamber, that even though we didn't go for Biden and we're supposed to be first and supposed to kind of predict where the primaries and caucuses are going, it didn't end up that way. But I want to ask you, Dylan, because you mentioned 2016 and 2020 on a strictly, because you said it was heartbreaking in 2016 and then you were more guarded this time. On a strictly candidate versus candidate scenario, which one was harder for you? Bernie losing to Clinton or now Bernie losing to Biden?
I think it's more difficult for me to process Bernie losing to Biden than Bernie losing to Hillary Clinton. You know, I don't know. Again, trying to be conscious of my own echo chambers. I look at states like Michigan, where it went overwhelmingly for Bernie in 2016, and then went, well, maybe not overwhelmingly, it was pretty close, but anyway, it went for Bernie in 2016, and then Biden in 2020. Like, all right, before I say what I'm going to say, I don't like the if you didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, you're a misogynist or whatever narrative. But I really think that we need to be a little sensitive or introspective or reflective, I don't know whatever word you want to use, but why is it that there were plenty of Michigan, and I'm not picking on Michigan specifically, but why was it that there were
North Carolina was another example.
Right. Why is it that when it was Bernie versus Hillary, Bernie won, but then when it was a man versus a man, Bernie didn't win again? What changed between the two races? And obviously 4 years changed, but you know, there's
right.
I think politics, it's very reflective of everything else that we know about life, where we are woefully lacking in self-reflection, that everything is simply just, you know, display some image or whatever, you know, right. Instagram generation, all that good stuff. And we need a lot more ugly self work, and you know, I don't know. That's.
I do think it's a misogynistic thing. I honestly do. I think that's why Warren didn't do as well with her campaign.
I don't think we can write it off.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say,
because, I mean, I caucused for Warren. I was torn between her and Biden, or her and Bernie. Sorry, definitely wasn't going Biden. I was torn between her and Bernie, and I didn't make up my mind until I was literally walking into my precinct. And that was because I work in education, and I just thought her education plan was more overarching for the schools and for paras, which is what I am, than Bernie's was. And that was kind of where I made my final decision. But I honestly thought she would do way better than what she did.
I'm not political at all. I'm one of those conspiracy theorists that's like, they already know who's going to win and they're just putting this show on for us, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say most of my world, the last few elections have been primarily focused on the female candidates. And I don't know if that necessarily speaks to the fact that I am surrounded by women most of my day. But even like on my social media, I would feel like a lot of my minority friends were definitely rooting for what appeared to be the underdog in the like social status race versus the people that might have been a little bit more focused on the target of like what's going on with their country. I do feel like there's a lot of like voting and caucusing and just like general speaking when we can identify our own shortcomings in a candidate versus what they're actually doing. Like, I really feel like a lot of Americans gathered behind Trump because of his lack of eloquence, because of his lack of formality, because he no longer does the parlor talk and all of those things. Like, his availability to them was so much more real. They could all envision themselves sitting down and having a good old, talk with Trump and understanding the words he was using because he wasn't coming from a political professional stance. So, I mean, I honestly, like, I feel like just Bernie raising his voice and being so like booming with his speaking speaks to a lot of those Americans that feel unheard. Whereas a lot of Warren's things, even though she was a female, she was very poignant and like she seemed to really stay on a lot of the topics and like let those things speak and not so much about the fact that she was a woman. Like, I feel like when it comes down to like voting,
she didn't make it about her being a woman candidate.
Yeah.
Unless there was the one moment in a debate where she said the only two people on the stage that have beat a Republican incumbent in the last 30 years are the women. But that was the only time I heard her mention her gender at all.
Yeah, absolutely. However, her followers were obsessed with that fact. And again, I feel like I almost wish we could do elections as like this blind, voiceless, like physical, personless, historyless thing where it's just like, yes or no, here
right.
are all of the things, here are all of my topics. You get none of my history. You get none of that preconceived thing. I feel like we'd have a better chance at like electing people that actually reflect the overall American image.
I do wish that people voted more on platform than personality.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I'm gonna go pee now.
Well, let's.
Right. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, guys.
So we talked about this for a bit earlier, but handshaking. Like, should we get rid of it entirely? The act of shaking another person's hand? Because that's what Dr. Fauci said. He was like, you know what? We should just never do it again.
As long as you don't have to get into the high five, I'm fine with it.
It's a high five.
More of a high fiver than a handshaker.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's a good question. What would we replace it with?
Well, I don't think we need to use from the shoulder down. It doesn't need to be used at all. I'm not a handshaker. I grew up with a father who handshakes everybody. I have these massive hands, and I shake hands. They're like, "Oh, you have a good handshake." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my dad." But I don't like shaking hands. To me, for me personally, it feels like a personal thing. Like I give John a hug. Every time I see John, I give him a hug. But like if I shook his hand, it feels more intimate. For some reason, I don't.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like it's your hands. Like I understand the business transaction. I understand the history. I've read the history of handshaking and why it's a thing. But I mean, what's with like why not eye contact? Be like, man, hey, thanks for doing that, and just walk away. Like it's not awkward, but we've made it awkward because there's a handshake.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you mentioned it's more intimate, because that's kind of the first thing I thought of when he said, "No, you probably shouldn't ever shake hands ever again." I said there are other ways you can spread way more germs that affect other kinds of intimacy, not just sexual intimacy, but just any kind of person-to-person contact moving forward. If we can't shake hands, what can we do?
eye contact, nod.
Yeah.
you know,
Elbow.
Which is fine because I don't like people touching me anyway. So
Yeah.
Like if we're face to face, and when I think about like your body, not like sexually, of course, but when I think of a person's body, like your hands touch everything, right?
right.
So in my mind, for me to touch your hand is an intimate thing because I'm trusting you. But that's what the handshake was created for in the first place. You know, spit in your hand, shake the hand. You're touching your hand because you're showing this trust, this amend between two people. And I get that, but it's also completely unnecessary at the same time. I don't see why we need that anymore.
Agreed. Fuck a handshake.
I shake a lot of people's hands, and
But
I don't know. I mean, it's a nice way to end. Like, it's a social, like, the conversation is over, or you know,
Right.
hello. Like, it's not necessarily just a thing. It's a cue when you're communicating with people that, like, okay, we can both be done with this conversation now, right? Whereas if, like, you have eye contact, it's just like you both look at each other and it's like, do you have more to say? Do I have more to say? If I shake your hand, it's like, good job, nice to meet you, whatever.
I've often wondered, is that a very like American
It's
thing?
official.
Do other countries shake like we are grown up and taught a firm handshake in America? Like I don't know, like in other
Let's just
countries,
start
do
doing
they care
what
about?
Japan does and just bow to people. Like, let's just end our conversations with a bow. And
That's what I was wondering because I know, in a lot of Asian countries they do a bow
Mm-hmm.
and there's no physical contact. That's why I'm wondering if that's a very just American thing, like get a firm handshake.
I feel like it's dependent upon where the English landed. I feel like it's a very derivative business tactic of the English. And I mean, it digs back to the Vikings. It was a very Viking thing to do, to spit in your hand and then shake it with another human being for whatever disgusting. So, I mean, you know, I feel like I'm really skilled at this, but I feel like it might be more of a lack of melanin versus a melanin kind of cultural thing. Like, I don't even think it's an American thing. I feel like it's a melanin lacking
Yeah, I get it.
thing.
Yeah,
White male thing.
it's a white male thing. Exactly.
You guys are disgusting. I don't get it. Like, oh.
Me neither.
Guilty as charged.
But I am
Yeah,
disgusted.
you bring up a good point that I didn't say at all, but it's a great social cue. It definitely is. If we were talking and I made eye contact and said, "Hey man, thanks for that," I just turn around and walk away. I don't think twice about it. Like, I don't think it's awkward, but that's my reality. To you, you're probably like, "Dude, he just walked away from me." That's what he was
Right.
like. He doesn't care. Like, I might put off the wrong vibe with that, but I hope that other things cover for that fact. But you're right, it's a great social cue, and it's very ingrained in our society. I don't think it's going to change. It's been around so long, it's just the thing to do now here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty much out of stuff. I had one more topic, which was Tiger King. Have you guys seen this shit?
It's so insane!
I have
Oh
not.
my God.
I have not.
Hey, Starman, hold on. Starman, have you not seen it? You're shaking your head.
I have not seen it.
Thank you.
Um,
You're not the only one. Thank
I'm
God.
familiar with it enough that because people talk around me about it, but I have no interest. I know it's crazy out there. I don't need. I've met meth heads.
Yeah. I would have watched it if 8 out of 10 of the Facebook posts I scroll past weren't about it.
I feel like I've already seen it all through
It
me.
hit Facebook before I had a chance to watch it, and it took over Facebook. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't give a shit about the show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it because I
made a
know
meme
everything about it.
that I made a meme that said I wish people took the coronavirus as seriously as they take fucking Tiger King.
Yeah.
Actually, I said King Tiger just so people would look at it to correct me.
Yeah.
Yes. I did give in to the Tiger King. It was my first attempt at like lockdown life. I was just like, all right, so like this is what my humans are doing. I want to be able to associate with them. It was absolutely a waste of however many episodes. It was a really drawn out way to say some people have too much time and too much fucking money.
Yeah.
I continue to watch it because I like to watch people act an absolute fool.
It was absurd.
Yes.
Love absurd.
Ridiculousness just kept stacking, and you're like, how does it get more ridiculous than a man having 218 wild animals in a cage in Oklahoma? It does.
It was even like episode 2, somebody's arm gets ripped off, and you think it's not going to get any crazier from there, and it does. Like it gets so much crazier.
Like, how did this mullet marry one but two 19-year-olds? Like, how did that mullet marry the meth? Obviously. Okay, why didn't I think of that first? Like, it was just this roller coaster of hot American trash that I could not and refused to off.
That's what gets me. Is
out with John L. Have you like gone out on John L. adventures? Like, this kind of shit happens. He meets people that have tigers and.
So, Steve,
everything that I understand about it is that it is just like the craziest reality show you could ever fucking watch.
Basically, and you also learn that a tiger costs less than some purebred dogs.
Yes, I have seen posts about it, and I'm paying more for my dog than he did for a tiger.
Yeah.
all right.
But at the same time, it's like Making a Murderer was a big thing, and I watched that because there was a huge message behind it of, is this guy innocent or is he guilty? And there was a big push to kind of get this guy off the hook. With Tiger King, it's just, this guy's fucking crazy, this lady might have killed her husband, this guy's in jail for some reason, and now the president might pardon him.
Okay, Steve, you can't talk on it unless you have witnessed it.
I witnessed enough. I've soaked in like a sponge all of the social media shit I've seen, and I know I don't need to watch this show because I get one episode in and be like, I fucking hate this.
No,
you're a fun hater, Steve.
Listen here, you cool
I'm right there with you, man.
Cheers, Star.
Watch it.
Don't watch it.
Watch it.
Don't watch it.
Watch it.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
This was a comment from a long time ago, but Mike Trzynski says that Lisa Loeb's brother lives in Bettendorf, and you can buddy up with him to get close to those glasses.
Wait, what now?
Lisa Loeb's brother lives in Bettendorf.
No shit.
So, buddy up to them glasses.
How is that possible?
I don't
That's
know.
amazing.
It's meant to be.
I watched Tiger King, or I think T and I got one more episode, and I mean, just strictly talking about a entertainment show, it was entertaining, right? Like, it succeeded in its mission of entertaining me. However, the longer I watched, the more I just felt wrong watching it, and just like felt dirty watching it. Like, I think Chris said,
that's how I was with the movie Cars.
I mean, I've known meth heads. I've seen people go down that rabbit hole, and I really can't stand people that can't take responsibility for their own action, blame everything on other people, that like always have some excuse for something, that just are careless and disregarding, and all of the characters were like, these are horrible human beings, and they pretty much represent everything that I try to teach my children not to become, and they deserve everything horrible that happens to them. And so, it made me reflect on people that I've known and society at large. I'm like, well, no wonder Donald Trump is our president, because this is they're the caricature of what we do, but it's very much the American way to, no, I didn't do that, somebody else made me do that, or whatever, right? I mean, it's just, this is America, it's gross, and it did not make me feel good watching it.
See, and that was my thing. Like, you mentioned this is why Donald Trump is president, and that made me think of something that I've thought of a lot when people have been posting Tiger King stuff, is that there's this population of people in America that, I don't know how to put this delicately, are so fucking dumb that they will. I compare it to, and I always remember this. There was, I think it was 1998, the WCW Road Wild pay-per-view. There was a match between Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio Jr. and the crowd. It takes place at Sturgis in North Dakota or South Dakota, whatever Dakota.
One of them.
And the crowd starts. Rey Mysterio starts getting the upper hand in the match, and the crowd starts chanting "USA, USA, USA." Chris Jericho is from Canada. Rey Mysterio Jr. is from San Diego. So it's just, since that moment, there's this a portion of America that I just do not and will never align myself with. And that's how I feel about Tiger King, is that I won't align with them.
Good. See, you
Like,
just won
yeah.
bonus points there.
You know, like the Dakotas. Got it.
So what you just said, in brown people terms, is keep your enemies closer, which is why I watched it. Like, I need to understand
Yeah.
what y'all are doing with all this money that you're not paying me.
Mhm.
And the answer is buying tigers and being
And doing meth.
humorous and creating cults and killing your husbands. Like, that's what I figured out from that, is
Don't tell
that
me.
I'm brown. I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I go to jail for real.
You want to get away
You know
with
what I
it.
mean? No one comes to talk to me if I go to jail.
I'd
I'm
visit,
just
like once.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, either it's an example of how our systems have utterly failed entire populations, or it's an example of some people are just bad people. So, I don't know. I mean, they don't exactly share Joe Exotic's upbringing, but I mean, I have no idea how he became the person that he did, but yeah, I mean, really, I guess they talk about how he hires people straight out of prison, right? I mean, some of these people are just victims of abuse and of being trapped in a system or whatever you want to call it. And so I don't know. I mean, it just, the whole thing, whether it's these people are bad or these people are exposing how screwed up our systems are, it just made me feel gross watching it.
Fair.
Yeah, I
truth is
haven't
gross,
seen
Dylan. The truth is gross.
It sure is.
Yeah.
I think what Dylan just expressed is why I don't feel like I need to watch it.
Though, I mean, if we're talking about producing a 7-episode miniseries on a streaming service in America to generate profit for investors, it was massively successful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
kudos to those that, that was the job.
Well, that was like, I don't know if you guys remember, like a year and a half or 2 years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was. The movie Bird Box took over social media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was talking about Bird Box, and I was like, I will watch it when it calms down, and I will go into it with an open mind. I just don't want to go into it with all this influence already on me of everyone talking about it and how great it is. And so, like a month and a half ago, I watched it, and I did not like it.
That was okay.
Didn't like the movie. It was a very successful movie for what that I feel like that was their goal, was to get people to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that was why it became successful. And I feel like the same thing is happening with Tiger King.
Yeah, it's funny how our tastes in things are so massively influenced by our friends, right? That's pretty obvious. Maybe we would have different perspectives on Tiger King if it was some obscure show we found on what's the independent TV station? I don't even remember what it is now, but
Who
yeah,
watches TV?
yeah. How would our opinions be on it? Right? It might not be the same.
Right.
Definitely wouldn't.
No.
We're all just social issues
Mhm.
and real people while we're all in our homes.
Yeah.
I missed the the art of finding underground documentaries because on Netflix now. I'm like, well, that sucks. I thought I had something interesting, and now it's just Netflix.
Yeah.
They're harder to find these days.
Well, do you guys have any other questions for all of us? Because I'm out of shit to talk about. So, yeah. If you guys got anything that you'd like to...
how the show ends is when the host is done talking.
That's what happened. Yeah.
John, you have to shake
John
up.
This is my first show.
He's done the least amount of talking.
You have to shake up.
That's the point. I got nothing good to say. I want to know what you guys have to say. That's why I'm glad this was a good little team for the first show. It's been awesome. Like, I think we should do it again.
Absolutely.
Yes, this is a lot of fun. Thank you.
I would do it anytime. I miss just having conversations with people that aren't Ian.
I mean, this is a group I would normally see at a certain bar on a Saturday night, so I'm very happy to be seeing this group right now.
Just seeing people in general has been awesome.
Yeah.
And connecting and learning some new stuff. I'm glad you guys shared your perspectives, your opinions, and I know we had a few people watching. I didn't really pay attention to. I was busy, talking to you guys. I wasn't really watching.
I didn't even do this for the views. I just wanted to talk to people.
Yeah, totally.
I appreciate you letting me do this because just talking to people in the outside world feels really good right now.
Yep.
And you want to roll a toilet paper that you can claim at a future date to be determined.
We'll send you my address.
We're all out. Don't come to Lowe's. We're out.
All right. Well, shit. I love you guys. That's I guess
That's a great sign off. Shit, I love you guys.
That's a wrap.